GN3. Cancel. Okay. New blank project. Okay, and use 3 routers. I will use C7200 router with iOS 15.2. Okay, 7200 routers. 1, 2, and 3. R1, R2, and R3. 2 layer 3 switches, D1 and D2. And for this, go to switches section and use this Cisco iOS VL2 with iOS 15.2. Okay, iOS B layer 2. Okay, change hostname D1 and drag another. Change hostname D2. Okay. And finally, an access switch A1. So use the same, and this will be A1. And you can add 4 PCs. This is for test purposes. Now you can see 2 links, but now you can see sub interface gigabit 000.1 and sub interface gigabit 000.2. So this is the same physical interface with 2 sub interfaces with 2 virtual interfaces, and the real connection is only 1 link because the physical interface gigabit 000 is the same. Okay, this is only 1 link from gigabit 000 on R1 to gigabit 000 on R2. I will use gigabit 00 on R1 and gigabit 00 on R2. Now, gigabit 001 on R2, and also gigabit 001 on R2. Okay, it's the same physical interface, so the real connection is only one link. And on R3 side is gigabit 000 and gigabit 000. Okay, from gigabit 001 on R2 to gigabit 000 on R3. Here, I will use gigabit 10 instead of use gigabit 001. I will use gigabit 10, and on R3 I will use gigabit 00. This connection is from gigabit 001 to gigabit 1011. So on R1 side I will use gigabit 10, and on D1 I will use gigabit 11. And here gigabit 001 on R3 and gigabit 11 on D2. Gigabit 10 on R3 and gigabit instead of use 11 I will use gigabit 11 on D2. And two links from D1 gigabit 5 and 6 to A1 fast Ethernet 1 and 2. Okay, 5 and 6 on D1, 1 and 2 and A1. I will use 21 to 01 and 22 to gigabit 02. Okay, 21 to gigabit 01 and 22 to gigabit 02. Okay, this is PCs are connected to port 23, port 23, and this side on port 24. Okay, so you can use here port 23, port 23, port 23, and 30. Okay, for PCs. The addressing table on R1, the sub interfaces, two sub interfaces to connect R2, and two sub interfaces to connect D1. On R2, the sub interfaces, four sub interfaces. On R3, four sub interfaces. R3, four sub interfaces, and PCs. Okay, required resources. I'm using 3 routers, Cisco 7200, Cisco this router 7200 with iOS 15.2. Switches, I'm using switches iOS BL2 with iOS 15.2. Okay, and for the access switch also iOS VL2 15.2. Okay, build the network ready, cable the network ready, configure basic settings for each device. Okay, copy this on Notepad. Okay, router R1, the host name, the IPv6 unicast routing for IPv6 routing, no IP domain lookup. The banner is only a message. The line console, no exit timeout. Login synchronous to not interrupt the command line with log messages. Okay, exit router R2, hostname IPv6, no IP domain lookup banner, line console, router 3, the same configuration. Switch D1, IP routing to enable layer 3 functions. IPv6 unicast routing for IPv6. No IP domain lookup banner, the same configuration. And create two VLANs, VLAN 8 with the name general users, general users for this VLAN on the orange section. Okay, VLAN 13, the VLAN for special users. This side on this VLAN 13. Switch D2, hostname, IP routing, IPv6 unicast routing, the same configuration. VLAN 8, VLAN 13. Switch D2, VLAN 8, VLAN 13. VLAN 8 for general users and VLAN 13 for special users. And switch A1. Switch A1, hostname IPv6 unicast routing. Enable routing for IPv6, only for IPv6, no IP domain lookup, banner, and the same configurations, but this switch is placed only on the general users region, so A1 will have only one VLAN and will be VLAN 8. VLAN 8. Okay, only configure VLAN 8 on this switch. And remember the ports I'm using on GNS3. These ports are different than the ports that are used for this scenario, this topology. Okay, and no ports configurations for the devices. Okay, so you can apply these basic settings on all devices without modifications. Okay, I will start the devices. D1, D2, A1, and paste this on router 1, double click on R1, okay, copy this, go to global configuration mode, configure terminal, and right click to paste. Okay, very good. R2, copy this, configure terminal, right click to paste. Okay, very good. R3, double click, router R3, basic configurations copy, configure terminal, right clicked, D1, and wait a minute. Enter, enable, configure terminal, copy this for D1, right click to paste. Okay, very good. IP routing, IPv6 unicast routing, the VLAN 8, VLAN 13. Go to D2, copy this, enter, enable, configure terminal, right click. Okay, IP routing, IPv6 unicast routing, VLAN 8 and VLAN 13. Finally, A1, copy this, enable, configure terminal, right click, IPv6 unicast routing, only VLAN 8, very good, only VLAN 8. Okay, now configure VRF and static routing. You will configure VRF light on all three routers and the appropriate static routes to support end-to-end reachability. At the end of this part, R1 should be able to ping R3 in each VRF. Okay, router R1. On R1, R2, and R3, configure VRF light. VRFs shown in the topology diagram. Configure two VRFs, general users and special users. The VRFs must support IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, on R1, R2, and R3, special users and general users on the three routers. Okay, on router R1, create VRF definition general users for IPv4 and IPv6 and special users for IPv4 and IPv6. The same on R2 and obviously the same configuration on R3. Now on R1, R2, and R3, configure IPv4 and IPv6 interfaces on each VRF as detailed in the addressing table above. Okay, configure these sub-interfaces on the routers. Okay, these sub-interfaces. And they are. Okay, go to R1. This sub-interface, gigabit 000.1. Okay, and this is gigabit 000.1 placed on VRF special users, and this belongs to VLAN 13. Okay, to VLAN 13. So that's why the encapsulation should be 13. Okay, this is the specification for VRF for special users. Okay, VLAN 13, special users, the IP address, this IP address, the IPv6 address, link local and global unicast. Okay, this, and obviously enable the interface no shutdown. And gigabit 000.2. This interface, this belongs to general users VRF and belongs to VLAN 8. Belongs to VLAN 8. So that's why the encapsulation is 8. General users, IPv4, IPv6, and no shutdown. IPv4, IPv6. Okay, notice the IPv4 and IPv6 addresses are the same. Okay, 10.0.12.1, 10.0.12.1. Okay, 12:1, 12:1. The only difference is the link local address. Okay, the only difference is the link local address. Okay, this is interface gigabit 000.2. If you will configure the sub interfaces, you need to enable the physical interface with no shutdown command. So use no shutdown command. And gigabit 001.1 is this. Gigabit 001.1 belongs to special users VRF. Special users VRF is VLAN 13. VLAN 13. And IPv4, IPv6, IPv4, IPv6 not shut down. And another interface, gigabit 001.2. Okay, VLAN 8, VLAN 8, general users, IPv4, IPv6 according the addressing table. IPv4, IPv6 according the addressing table. Okay, and enable the physical interface. Okay. Okay, and obviously configure the sub interfaces on R2 and on R3. Okay, for router R2, configure the sub interfaces. Okay, on R3, the sub interfaces. Okay, so all routers will use router on a stick. That means to use the sub interfaces. Use these sub interfaces and sub interface 1 for encapsulation 13. Okay, 1 for 13, IPv6 and link local, IPv6 and link local. Okay, for special users, enable interface, no shutdown, and sub interface 2, number 2, general users, encapsulation 8 for VLAN 8, IPv4, IPv6, IPv4, IPv6, enable, no shutdown. And now on R1 and R3, configure default static routes pointing to R2. Okay, on R1 and R3, configure default static routes pointing to R2. Then configure VRF static routes for both IPv4 and IPv6 in both VRFs. Okay, for example, go to R1. This is R1. Configure two default static routes for IPv4 and two default static routes for IPv6. IP route the VRF special users here. The default route and pointing 10.0.12 to 10.0.12 2. Okay, pointing to R2. This is the NetHub IP address. And the same way for general users, the NetHub is 10.0.12 2, 10.0.12 2. And for IPv6 for special users, this is the default static route, and this is the NATS hub. 1 2 colon column 2 1 2 colon column 2, and also for general users 1 2 colon column 2, for general users 1 2 colon column 2. Okay, the same way on R3, this, but on R3 the NATS hub is this IP 10.0.23.2, 10.0.23.2. Also for general users, also this, and IPv6 23 colon column 2, 23 colon column 2, 23 colon column 2, 23 colon column 2. Okay, and now, okay, and on R2, router R2, router R2 needs static routes to reach remote networks. Okay, for R2, these are directly connected networks. But you need to configure static routes to reach these remote networks. So that's why you need to configure this on R2. For example, on VRF special users, here, you need to know, you need to configure 113.0 network, this network 113 on IPv4 and on IPv6. On IPv4 and on IPv6 113. Okay, IPv4 and IPv6, but use the NATS hub 10.0.12.1, and for R2 the NATS hub is 10.0.12.1. Also for IPv6 1 2 colon colon 1 1 2 colon colon 1. Okay, and also configure on special users the static route for 213 for this 213 network on IPv4 and IPv6. On IPv4 is 213 and on IPv6 is 213. Use the NATS hub 10.0.23. For R2 the NATS hub is 10.0.23.3. On IPv6 23 colon colon 3. On IPv6 23 colon colon 3. Okay, very good. And for general users, for this, you need to know these networks 108 on IPv4 and IPv6. 108 use the NATS hub IP address. 108 on IPv6 use the NATS hub IP address. And on the other side, 208 on IPv4 and on IPv6. 208 and 208 on IPv4 and on IPv6. So this is very good. Okay, and this is part number 2. Okay, and verify connectivity. So first paste this on devices, copy, and then paste router R1, the VRF definition, but instead of use gigabit 000, remember I'm using only gigabit 00, so you can use only gigabit 00. Okay, in all cases. And you know, instead of using gigabit 001, I'm using gigabit 10. 10. Okay, gigabit 10 and gigabit 00. Okay, gigabit 10, gigabit 10. Okay, the same way on R2, only gigabit 00, only gigabit 00, gigabit 00, gigabit 10. Okay, instead of 001, use 10. 10. Finally, R3, 00, 00, 00, 10, 10, 10. Okay, very nice. So you only need to modify the interfaces. Go to R1, global configuration mode, copy this, copy, and right click to paste. Okay, no issues, no errors. Very good. So copy this on R2, copy, global configuration mode, right click to paste. Okay, again, global configuration mode, R2, copy this, copy, and right click to paste. Okay, enter. Okay, very good. No issues, no errors. Okay, no messages. Very nice. Finally, R3. First, go to R3. Global configuration mode. Copy this. Copy, and then right click to paste. Okay, very good. No problem. Okay, and verify connectivity in each VRF. From R1, verify connectivity to R3. Okay, from R1, ping R3. For example, ping VRF general users 10.0.208.1. So general users from R1 ping 10.0.208.1. Okay, so from R1 ping this interface. Also ping for IPv6 208.1. 208.1. Okay, and before to do that, this verification, fix the following issue: duplex mismatch. For example, on R3, duplex mismatch discovered on gigabit 10. Okay, here on gigabit 10, here, not half duplex. With D2 gigabit Ethernet 11 is half duplex. Okay, so this side on D2 is half duplex, and this side on R3 is not half duplex. Okay, gigabit 10 not half duplex, and on D2 gigabit 11 is half duplex. So go to D2. On D2, go to gigabit 11, this interface, gigabit 11. Remember, instead of using gigabit 11 on D2, on GNS3 I'm using gigabit 11. And go to D2, interface gigabit 11. Okay, on interface gigabit 11, do verify and do show running config. Enter. Space. Okay, gigabit 11 negotiation auto. So change this. Space. Interface gigabit 11. Remove the negotiation auto. No negotiation auto. And configure duplex full. Okay, and so go to R3. And you will not see these messages anymore. Okay, but do the same configuration. For example, go to R1. Okay, duplex mismatch, gigabit 10, not half duplex, and D1 11 is half duplex. So fix this on D1, and remember this is gigabit 11. Also remember that instead of use gigabit 11 on D1, I'm using gigabit 11 on D1. So go to D1, interface gigabit 11. no negotiation auto, and duplex full. Okay, gigabit 1.1, no negotiation auto, duplex full. And okay, and you will not see these messages anymore. Okay, and now ping from R1 to these interfaces on R3. Okay, from R1 go to R1. Ping this IP 10.0.208.1. Ping 10.0.208.1. Okay, obviously this ping will not work because you need to specify general users, the VRF general users. Okay, so use VRF, okay, sensitive general dash users. Okay, enter, success, IPv6 2001 DB8 ACAD 208 colon 1. Okay, this IP, enter, success. And for special users on IPv4 and on IPv6, 213.213 here, 213.213. Okay, from R1 ping this interface on R3 with on special users. Special users, 213.1 success using IPv6 213 colon 1 with special users, success. Also, you can verify from R3 to these interfaces on R1. And for example, on R1 you can verify the interfaces show IP VRF interfaces. Now you can see two interfaces for general users and two interfaces for special users. Gigabit 00, 10, 00, 10. For example, go to R2, show IP VRF interfaces. Now you can see two interfaces for general users, two for special users. And also on R2 you can verify the static routes previously configured. For example, show running config, the pipe, include the route section, include the route keyword. Okay, all routes, IPv4 and IPv6. For example, on R3, okay, and show VRF. Show IP VRF interfaces. Success. Show running config pipe. Include the keyword root. Okay, the pipe. Enter. Enter. Okay, very nice. The default static routes configured on R3 for general users and special users. Okay, and now configure layer 2 network. Configure the switches on D1, D2, and A1. Disable all interfaces. On D1 and D2, shut down from gigabit 1 to 24, and on A1 shut down from 1 to 24 and gigabit 1 and 2. Okay, on switch D1 shut down the 24 gigabit interfaces. Also for D2, and on A1 shut down from 1 to 24 and gigabit 1 and 2. Okay. And on D1 and D2, configure the trunk links to R1 and R3. Okay, so this link from D1 to R1 should be trunk, because if you will use sub interfaces on R1, this link should be trunk. To support VLAN 13 for special users and VLAN 8 for general users. The same way for D2, this link should be trunk on D2 to support two VLANs for the special users VRF and general users VRF. So configure and enable the interface 11 link as a trunk link. For example, on D1, the interface 11, switch port mode trunk, and no shutdown to enable. The same way on D2. Okay, very good. And on D1 and A1, configure the Ether channel. Okay, now you can see this Ether channel on D1 and gigabit 5 and 6, and on A1 fast Ethernet 1 and 2. This should be port channel or Ether channel. On D1, configure and enable interface 5 and 6, port channel 1 using port aggregation protocol. Okay, on D1, on interfaces 5 and 6, this obviously this should be trunk. Channel group 1 mode desirable. That's desirable is the keyword for port aggregation protocol. And port channel 1, so that's why you will use channel group 1 and enable the interfaces not shut down. Okay, these two interfaces on D1. Okay, this and on A1 fast Ethernet 1 and 2, port channel 1 port aggregation protocol. On A1 fast Ethernet 1 and 2, on A1 fast Ethernet 1 and 2 mode trunk channel group 1 mode desirable not shut down. Okay, very good. And on D1, D2, and A1, configure access ports for PC1, PC2, PC3, and PC4. Okay, configure these access ports. Port 23 on D1, port 23 on A1, and ports 23 and 24 on D2. Okay, on D1, configure 23 access ports VLAN 13 and enable port fast. Okay, go to D1, port 23, obviously mode access for VLAN 13, enable port fast, spanning tree port fast, not shut down. D2 23, VLAN 13, enable port fast, D2 23, access VLAN 13, port fast, not shut down. D2 24, VLAN 8, enable port fast, D2 port 24, VLAN 8, port fast, not shut down. A1 port fast Ethernet 23, access port VLAN 8, enable port fast. Switch A1 fast Ethernet 23, switch port mode access VLAN 8, spanning tree port fast, not shut down. Okay, and verify connectivity. So first, copy these configurations. Okay, the configurations of the switches. Copy. Okay, enter, paste. Okay, but now first shut down all interfaces, but I'm on GNS 3. I'm not using the same range. Okay, these are the ports on D1 gigabit 00, 01, 02, 03. Okay, from 00 to 03, from 10 to 13, from 20 to 23, and from 30 to 33. Okay, so the range is different. From gigabit 00 to 03, gigabit 10 to 13, gigabit 20 to 23. Okay, and comma and gigabit 30 to 33. Okay, so shut down all interfaces on the D1 on GNS 3. 00, 03, 10, 13, 20, 23, 30, 33. Okay, and now instead of using 11, I'm using 11 here. 11. So change this 11. Instead of using gigabit 23, I will use 2.3. Okay, 2.3 for the access port, and for the Ether channel, I will use gigabit 2.1 and 2.2. 2.1 and 2.2. Gigabit 2.1 and 2.2. Okay, for the Ether channel on D1, 2.1 and 2.2. Okay, go to switch D2, this switch. Shut down all interfaces, is the same range. Okay, shut down all interfaces. Instead of using 11, I'm using 1.1. Okay, instead of use 23, I'm using 2.3. 2.3 for the access port. And instead of using 2.3 for the access port, and now the next port of 2.3 is 3.0. So instead of using 24, I will use 3.0. Okay, instead of 23, use 2.3 on D2, and instead of using 24, use 3.0 on D2. Okay, 2.3 for VLAN 13 and 3.0 for VLAN 8. And on switch A, use the same range to shut down all the ports, because it's the same iOS image. 0003, okay, 3033. Instead of fast Ethernet 23, I will use gigabit 0.23. Okay, 2.3, VLAN 8. Okay, this instead of 23, I will use 2.3 VLAN 8. And instead of fast Ethernet 1 and 2, instead of fast Ethernet 1 and 2, I will use gigabit 0.1 and 0.2. Gigabit 0.1 and 0.2. Okay, very nice. And copy all these to the devices. Switch D1, copy this, go to D1, configure terminal, and global configuration mode, right click to paste. Okay, enter, and now you can see this issue. Switch port mode trunk. Trunk encapsulation is auto, cannot be configured to trunk. Okay, so you need to specify the trunk. Okay, before to configure switch port mode trunk, use the following: switch port trunk encapsulation dot 1q. Okay, this command for this trunk. This is the connection to the router. Okay, on D1. This is access port. Don't worry. This is the Ether channel and should be trunk. And before to configure the trunk, configure the encapsulation.1q on D2 gigabit 11 switch port trunk encapsulation.1q switch port mode trunk. This is access port. Also, this is access port and no problem. And switch A1 shut down all interfaces. This is access port and this is the Ether channel mode trunk. And before to mode trunk, configure the encapsulation. Okay, and copy this again on D1. Copy and global configuration mode. Right click to paste on D1. Okay, and now very good. No issues. Shut down all ports. Enable trunking and enable the interface in gigabit 11, 2, 3 access port, and this is the Ether channel. Now configure D2. Go to D2, configure terminal, right click to paste. Okay, this is very good. Look at this. Shut down, trunk, no problems. Very nice. Access port. This message is very good when you configure for port fast. Okay, don't worry about this message. No shutdown to enable the interface 2.3. Interface 3.0. Mode access VLAN 8 port fast, very good. No shutdown. Exit, very nice. And A1 configuration. Copy this. Go to A1. Global configuration mode. Right click to paste. Okay, verify. Shut down all ports. Shut down all ports and interface 2.3 access port. This is the message of port fast, very nice, no shutdown. This is the Ether channel, gigabit 01 and 02. First, the encapsulation mode trunk, channel group, and no shutdown. Very nice. Now, and you can verify from PC1 verify connectivity to PC2, and from PC3 verify connectivity to PC4. Okay, I don't have PCs, but anyway, you can verify doing the following. For example, go to D1 and use show interface strong. Now you can see gigabit 11 is trunk, this interface, the connection to R1, and also the port channel is trunk, this port channel. Also, you can verify the port channel, show their channel summary, Ether channel. Okay, port channel SU Okay, is layer 2 and in use, and P for bundled import channel, so all is very good. Or show running config, show running config. Okay, space. Okay, for example, interface 23 space, very good. Okay, for example, this is the port channel, automatically configured for encapsulation and trunk. Okay, very nice. You can verify on A1 and show the channel summary. Okay, port channel 1 established, show interface trunk. The port channel is the only one trunk, very nice. And now configure security. On all devices, configure secure privilege X mode. Configure enable secret. The algorithm type script and password Cisco 12345 Cisco. Okay, on all devices, the enable password algorithm type script. The secret password is Cisco 12345 Cisco. Okay, and now create local user account. The name is admin, privilege 15, algorithm script, password Cisco 12345 Cisco. Username, the name is admin, privilege 15, algorithm type script, secret password Cisco 12345 Cisco. And on all devices, enable AAA. Okay, enable AAA, new model, enable AAA authentication, and enable AAA authentication using the local database on all lines. Okay, AAA authentication, and the login is default local. Okay, by default, the login for all lines will use the local database. So that means to use this username and password. And you don't need to configure this on line console or line VTY because it's logging by default. Will use all lines will use the local database. So use this username admin and password Cisco 12345 Cisco. Okay, and copy this on all devices. But remember to copy this first on Notepad. Okay, and try to copy this first on R1. Configure terminal. Once you are on global configuration mode, right click to paste. Okay, and now you can see this on this router is not algorithm type script is not supported. Okay, when you will create the username, also algorithm type is not supported. AAA is very good configured. So okay, copy this. So you can change this. Remove the algorithm type and only use enable secret, the password, and when you will create the username, remove the algorithm type script, username admin privilege 15 secret, and the password. Okay, configure this on all the routers. R1, configure terminal, right click to paste. Okay, very good. R2, configure terminal, right click to paste. Very good. And on R3, configure terminal, right click to paste. Very nice. And this will be supported on switches, the algorithm type script. Copy, go to D1, configure terminal, global configuration mode, right click to paste. Okay, so algorithm type script is supported on the switches, so go to D2, right click to paste. Very nice. On A1, configure terminal, right click to paste. Okay, very good. Okay, and to verify this, for example, on A1, use exit, press enter, the username is admin, password is Cisco12345, Cisco. Okay, very nice. And enable password Cisco12345, Cisco. And very good. You can verify this on all devices. I will add two PCs to test the connectivity. I will add PC1 and PC2. PC1 and PC2. So you can verify this on part 3. You can verify, and you will verify the connectivity from PC1, verify IPv4 and IPv6 connectivity to PC number 2. Okay. PC1 will be able to connect PC2 because they are in special users VRF. And PC1 will not be able to connect PC3 because they are on different VRFs. Okay, VRFs and okay, and remember VRF is virtual routing and forwarding. Okay, and on VirtualBox, Oracle VM VirtualBox. Okay, on VirtualBox, I have Body Linux 1, Body Linux 2. Okay, review settings on network. Choose generic driver or not attached. Okay, and use, for example, generic driver, UDP tunnel, and advanced cable connected. Be sure cable is connected. Okay, Body Linux 5.02 settings, network, generic driver, UDP tunnel, and be sure cable is connected. Okay, and close this. And on GNS 3, on end devices section, I have the Linux computers. Drag this. This will be PC1, and this PC2. PC1 and PC2, and connect to port 23 on both cases from the Ethernet interface to port. In my case is 23. Instead of using 23 on the switch, I will use 23. And the same way for PC number 2, 23. Okay, and now start the PCs. Another Linux computer start. Okay, this is Body Linux 1, and this is Body Linux 2. Password. Okay, and configure this IP address 10.0.113.50. Okay, is this configuration 10.0.113.50? Okay, here. Okay, edit connections. Wired connection 1. Double click. Go to IPv4 settings and change this. 10.0.113.50. 10.0.113.50. netmask 24, and the gateway is this 10.0.113.1. Okay, this 10.0.113.1. 10.0.113.1. And on IPv6, and on IPv6 2001 DB8 ACAD 113:50 prefix 64 2001 DB8 ACAD 113:50 prefix 64, and the gateway is this. The link local address of this interface FEA0::1:3. FEA0 : 1 : 3. FEA0 : FEA0 : 1 : 3. Okay, and verify IPv4, IPv6, save, close this. Disable networking and enable again to reset the connection. Now configure PC2, password, right click, edit connections, wired connection, double click, IPv4, use 10.0.213.50, mask 24, and default gateway 10.0.213.1. Okay, and on IPv6, 2001 DBA ACID 213.50. Okay, 2001 DBA ACID 213.50, prefix 64, and the gateway should be this on R3. And this is the subnet. Use FEA0 : 3 : 3. FEA0 : 3 : 3. Okay, very nice. Verify IPv4 settings, IPv6 settings, save, close this, disable the networking, enable again, enable networking to reset the connection. And now go to PC1 on applications and system tools and terminology and ping. First verify the IP address. This is your IP address. Ping the default gateway. Ping 10.0.113.1. Success. Control C to stop this ping. Control C. Okay, Control C. You can ping PC2. PC2 is 10.0.213.50. 10.0.213.50. Enter. Success. Control C to stop this. And verify using IPv6. Okay, look at this. This is my IPv6 address. Okay, ping the default gateway. Okay, remember the default gateway for PC1. The default gateway is this, and this is the default gateway FEA0 : 1 : 3. Ping FEA0 : 1 : 3. Okay, and invalid argument. Okay, so okay, because this is a link local address, but you can ping the default gateway. Okay, and if my IPv6 is 2001 DBA ACID 11350, the default gateway is 1. Okay, the default gateway is number 1. Ping 2001, DB8, ACAD, 113, colon 1, success. Control C to stop, and ping PC2 IPv6 address 2001 DBA ACAD 21350. Ping DBA, ping 2001 DBA ACAD 213 colon 50. This is PC2, success. Control C, very good. Thank you very much.